In the small town of Maple Ridge, where everyone knew everyone and the diner waitress still remembered your order from 3 years ago, 17-year-old Evan Miller felt completely invisible. It wasn't that his life was bad, it was just confusing. Maple Ridge had one main road, one high school, and one unspoken rule: figure out your life early or be labeled that kid who never did. Evan didn't know what he wanted to be, who he wanted to become, or even what he was good at, except maybe avoiding awkward conversations and overthinking everything at night. His friends talked about college majors like they were choosing ice cream flavors. Engineering, said one. Business, said another. Pre-med, said a third, like it was no big deal. Evan nodded along, pretending he understood, while inside his mind screamed, "I don't even know what I want for breakfast." At home, his dad worked long hours at the hardware store. His mom asked gentle but terrifying questions like, "So, have you thought about your future yet?" Evan usually answered with a shrug, which had become his official personality. That summer, everything changed. One afternoon, Evan was driving his rusty old car down Maple Ridge's only highway when smoke poured from under the hood. The engine died right in front of a closed-down bowling alley, a perfect metaphor for his life. He slammed the steering wheel. "Of course," he muttered, "even my car is lost." With no phone signal and no clue what to do, Evan sat there, feeling stuck, literally and emotionally. Then he heard a voice. "You gonna sit there all day, or are you planning to push?" An older man stood nearby, holding a toolbox and wearing oil-stained jeans. His name, Evan would later learn, was Mr. Callahan, a mechanic who ran a tiny garage on the edge of town that most people forgot existed. Together, they pushed the car to the garage. Mr. Callahan worked in silence for a while, then finally said, "Your engine overheated? Been ignoring warning signs?" Evan laughed nervously. "Yeah, guess so." Mr. Callahan glanced at him. Funny how cars and people do that. That comment hit harder than Evan expected. Over the next few days, Evan came back to help at the garage while waiting for his car to be fixed. He swept floors, handed tools, and made exactly $0, but something felt different. The garage was messy, loud, and imperfect, but alive. Mr. Callahan talked while he worked, about mistakes, about quitting college twice, about failing businesses, about feeling lost well into his 30s. "I thought being lost meant I was broken. Turns out it just meant I hadn't found my road yet," the old man said one evening. Evan listened. For once, he didn't feel behind. He felt understood. Then came the challenge. One night, Mr. Callahan collapsed in the garage, a heart condition. The shop closed temporarily. Evan stood there alone, staring at the tools, the half-fixed cars, the silence. Panic set in. Without the garage, Evan had nothing to distract him from the big question again: what am I doing with my life? But instead of running from it, he stayed. He showed up every day. He cleaned, organized, learned. He watched videos, asked questions, failed constantly, and laughed at himself when he messed up. The town noticed. People started stopping by, asking for help. Evan tried, even when he wasn't confident. Sometimes he fixed the problem, sometimes he made it worse, but every time he learned. Weeks later, Mr. Callahan returned. He looked around the garage, stunned. "You did all this?" Evan shrugged. "I didn't know what else to do." Mr. Callahan smiled. "That's how it starts." By the end of summer, Evan realized something important. He didn't need his entire life figured out. He just needed movement, action, curiosity. For the first time, he felt capable. When school started again, Evan wasn't magically fearless. He still had doubts, still got confused, still felt lost sometimes. But now he understood this. Being lost wasn't the enemy. Staying still was. At graduation, Evan didn't give a big speech or announce a perfect plan. He simply smiled because he finally trusted himself to figure things out along the way.